Hidden beneath the golden sands of Egypt lies a story that few dare to tell. A story of sex, power, and sacred rituals. We know the pharaohs built pyramids, temples, and statues. But what if I told you that their empire was also shaped by bizarre sexual practices, rituals so shocking, so forbidden, that historians still hesitate to speak of them? Tonight, we travel deep into the heart of ancient Egypt to uncover the erotic mysteries, the forbidden unions, and the scandalous secrets that fueled the kingdom of the pharaohs, the gods of desire. Before we understand the pharaohs' rituals, we must first enter their mythology. For the Egyptians, sex was not sinful, it was divine. The gods themselves were born from acts of passion. Take Adam, the creator god. Ancient texts describe him, pleasuring himself to create the universe. His semen, they believed, was the spark of life. Imagine that. Existence itself, born from a god's intimate act. Then came Isis and Osiris, siblings and lovers. Their incestuous union was considered holy, a bond that gave Egypt its divine rulers. To Egyptians, incest wasn't taboo. It was sacred continuity of bloodline. And Horus? Legends tell us that even he engaged in strange sexual contests with his uncle Set. Battles of dominance fought not with weapons, but with bodily fluids. These were not myths of shame, but of power, fertility, and cosmic order. Sex wasn't hidden in Egypt. It was everywhere, in their carvings, in their temples, in their myths. To them, it was magic. Segment 2, Pharaohs and the Forbidden. The pharaohs, seen as living gods, followed these divine examples. They often married their sisters and daughters, believing that only pure royal blood could preserve divine power. What we see as incest, they saw as sacred duty. But beyond family unions, there were rituals far stranger. Imagine a pharaoh standing by the Nile during a fertility festival, publicly pleasuring himself. His seed was cast into the sacred river to ensure floods, harvest, and life. Historical accounts suggest Pharaoh Ramses himself may have performed such rites. It wasn't shameful. It was cosmic magic. The act of sex, even in public, bound man to God, heaven to earth, temples of desire. Deep inside Egypt's grand temples, another secret unfolded. Some shrines were not only places of prayer, but of sacred sex. Priestesses of Hathor, goddess of love, were rumored to perform rituals of pleasure with worshippers. These were not acts of lust, but offerings to the gods. By surrendering the body, they believed they were channeling divine energy.
There are whispers of temple prostitutes, sacred women who embodied the goddess herself. Their touch, their kiss, their embrace was thought to heal the sick, grant fertility, and bring fortune. To the Egyptians, sex was medicine. It was ritual. It was a bridge to immortality. The orgies of power. But what of the darker, stranger rituals? Accounts from Greek travelers hint at wild Egyptian festivals, orgies held under the moonlight, where wine, music, and flesh blended into chaotic worship. During the festival of Bastet, the cat goddess of passion, thousands of men and women would travel down the Nile, drinking heavily, dancing wildly, and surrendering to their carnal desires. For days, Egypt became a kingdom of ecstasy. And yet, these acts were not seen as sinful, they were sacred releases, ways to honor the gods, to keep chaos and order in balance. Blood and sex, the dark magic. In the shadows, some rituals grew darker. Ancient papyri hint at spells of sex mixed with blood. Couples would unite during sacrifices, believing the life force of blood magnified the magic of their union. Priests whispered of necromantic rites, where corpses and desire intertwined, acts meant to awaken forbidden powers. Were these true? Or were they stories told by horrified outsiders? The truth lies buried, sealed beneath tombs. Archaeological clues. On the walls of Deir el-Medina, hidden graffiti reveals scenes of explicit acts, drawings far too wild for public temples. Scholars call it Egypt's secret pornographic treasure. In the Turin Erotic papyrus, now preserved under glass, we find illustrations of couples engaged in strange, exaggerated acts. Was this humor? Was it instruction? Or was it a record of actual rituals? Historians still debate. Sex, death, and afterlife. For Egyptians, death was not the end. It was a transformation. And even sex followed them to the grave. Some mummies show signs of erotic positioning, bodies buried with amulets of fertility and pleasure. Legends tell us that in the afterlife, the soul could enjoy eternal unions. To them, sex was not just for the living, it was for eternity. The final mystery. So, what do we make of this world, where pharaohs married sisters, where gods created life through seed, where orgies honored the divine, and where even death could not silence desire? Were these bizarre sex practices truly sacred rituals, or simply human lust, wrapped in divine myth? Perhaps we'll never know the full truth. Perhaps the sands of Egypt still guard secrets too strange for modern minds to comprehend. But one thing is certain. For the pharaohs, sex was not forbidden. It was magic. It was power. It was life itself. And as we leave the temples, the tombs, and the myths behind, we realize that ancient Egypt was not just a land of pyramids and mummies. It was a land where the body and the soul, pleasure and power, desire and divinity, became one. These are the forbidden rituals of the pharaohs. Secrets carved in stone, whispered in papyri, and buried beneath the sands of time, waiting for those brave enough to uncover them.